Hello dear students, today our subject is mathematics. We are studying it for 8th classes and our topic is powers of 10. What does powers of 10 means? Powers of 10 means when there is 1 and zeros, means if there is 1 and to the left side there are zeros, this is called power of 10. For example, here we have 10, 100, 1000, 10,000 maybe, 100,000 and million. It all can be assumed or we are considering them as powers of 10. We can also write these numbers as exponents. For example, 10 we can write it as 10 to the power 1. Exponent means power, they are the same. 100, instead of 100 we can write 10 to the power 2 or 10 square. Instead of 1000 we can write 10 to the power 3 or 10 cube. So here we have an example and we will solve this example and then we will go to some rules and some arithmetic operations about the powers of 10. Number 1, okay, example, write 10 to the power 6. We have two parts of the question. In part 1 it says to us that write this number as what? In a number, write this exponent as number, and the second part it says to us that we have to write this number or this exponent in words. So we are coming to our first part of the question. 10 to the power 6, we can write it as 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Means 6 times we are just multiplying 10 by itself. So it will become 10 and 6 zeros to the left side. Again, we are coming to the second part of our question. And second part, they are telling us that we have to write the name, or in words we have to write this number or the exponent. So 10 to the power 6 means 1 million. Here if you see it, here we have 6 zeros and 1. It means 1 million. Now, we have some arithmetic operations, mean multiplication and division in here. We will do that for powers of 10 and then we will go to another topic. Multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. First we are coming to multiplication. When we multiply integers by power of 10, we just write integers itself and give extra 0 after them. So here we have something that must be explained. First, integers. Integers are complete numbers from minus infinity to positive infinity. These are all called integers. And here again they says we are writing just integer and giving extra zeros. How many extra zeros? The extra zeros are we are looking to the number, the power of 10. Whenever they have the number of zeros, we are just writing those zeros to the left side of the number. For example, here we have minus 7 times 10. Minus 7 times 10. Minus 7 is an integer and times 10 is a power of 10. So we are just writing minus 7 here and giving an extra 0 to the left side of that minus 7. Again, in example B, here we have minus 133 times 100. So we are just writing minus 133. Here we have 2 zeros. So we are just writing 2 zeros at the end of that number. Here we have in part C, 3 times 1000. This is a positive integer. 3 times 1000. We are just writing 3 and writing 3 zeros to the left side of that 3. Means we are just writing the integer, which is 3, and taking these 3 zeros to the left side of that number. D, 580 times 100. Here we have a number which already has a 1 0. So we are not considering that 0. We are just looking to the zeros of the power of 10. So we are writing 580 and then we are giving 2 zeros to it. It will become 58,000. Now there is a note that you have to remember always. If powers of 10 are multiplied by 0, the result is 0. It's for all numbers. If you just multiply any number, whether it's integer, it is decimal or real or natural number, all the number, if we multiply by 0, the result will be 0. So you have to remember it. means if you just multiply the powers of 10 by 0, it will be 0. You have to memorize it, and every time you see the case like that, you must write 0 instead of that. So in case B, we had here in A integer numbers. Now we are coming to the decimal numbers. What will happen if a power of 10 is multiplied by the decimal number? Here we have, when a decimal number is multiplied by powers of 10, the decimal point will move by the amount of zeros to the right side. S is remaining here, so I will just write a S in here, zeros. In case B, we are just considering decimal numbers. In case A, if you remember, we studied about the integer numbers. In case B, again, I'm saying that we are considering decimal numbers. What are decimal numbers? The decimal numbers are not incomplete numbers which have points between the numbers or between the digits. For example, 0.6, 0.09, these are all assumed as decimal numbers. So here we have, when a decimal number is multiplied by powers of 10, the decimal point will move by the amount of zeros to the right side. Means it will move to the right side of the number. For example, we have 3 examples here, and if you, I will explain it, and then you will understand it very clearly. 0.6 times 10. If you just multiply 0.6 by 10, it will become, this point will move to the right side, and it will become 6.0. And here again, 0 does not mean any, does not have any meaning when it is to the right side of the point. Here we have another number which is 0.09. It's a decimal number multiplied by 10, which is the power of 10, or 10, which is the derivative of 10, or derivative which is taken from 10. So if you just multiply 0.09 times by 10, here we have 10, so the point will move to the right side by 1 digit. So here we have 0.09, the point will move to here, it will become, locate between 0 and 9, it will become 0.9. Here we have 0.9. Again we have 0.0013. Here we have 2 zeros, 1 and 3. So we have multiplying this by 1,000. 1,000 has 3 zeros. Means the point will move to the right side by 3 digits. 1 digit, 2 digits, and 3rd digit here. It will be located between 1 and 3, and the result will be 1.3. Means 0.0013 times 1,000, it will become 1.3. Now we have completed the multiplication here. 2 cases were there. First was integers, the second one was decimal. Now we are coming to division. We will also study about division. We have same cases for division, but have a different rules. When we divide integers by power of 10, in result, we just give a point starting from the right side to left. Okay? Here we have examples. Means if you just divided any number, any integer number by power of 10s, and you will just add a point starting from right side to left side. Here we have 9 divided by 10. 9 divided by 10, it will become how much? 0.9. So from right side, you will just give a point to the left side. Here we have 9, and then 9, for example, if you suppose here a 9, when we divided it by 10, it became 0.9. Means the point was here, and it became here to the left side. Again, we have 30 divided by 1,000. 30 divided by 1,000. We can just cancel the 1 0. It will become 3 or 100. So 3 is the integer number. If you divide by 100, here we have 2 zeros, and the decimal point will come to the left side by 2 digits. For example, it was 3, 1 digit, and 2 digit, it will become 0.3. Again, 28 divided by 10. 28 divided by 10. So here we have 1 0. So the digit, point will become locate between 2 and 8. Here we have 2.8. Mean if you divide 28 over by 10, it will become how much? 2.8. Again, we have 35 divided by 1,000. We have 3 zeros, 2 numbers. So we have two zeros will move the point to this part, or 0.35. If you just add another 0 or divide by another 10, it will become 0.035. We have 632 divided by how much? By 10. So in this case, we will just start from the right side and go to the left side. The point here we have 1 0, and the point will become between 3 and 2. So it will become 32.63.2. So we will continue our subject, and we'll solve another example. Again, we have note that you have to remember when 0 is divided by power of 10. Here we have 10. I think we have mistaken here. Powers of 10. The result is 0. What does it mean? If 0 is divided by 10, 100, 1000, so the result will be the same. It will be 0. For example, here we have 0 divided by 100. It will become 0. 0 divided by 1000. It will become 0. 0 divided by 10, and the result is 0. So it's, in this case, is for all the numbers. For example, if there is integer number in denominator, if there is a decimal number or a fraction, if in the denominator we have 0, the result will be the same 0. So we are coming to the B case. In the A case, we studied about integer numbers, the division of integer numbers by the power of 10, and now we are coming to study the decimal numbers. When decimal numbers are divided by powers of 10, and the result, the decimal point will move to left side by the number of zeros. Means if we have 5 zeros, the decimal point will go to the left side by 5 zeros. If we have 3 zeros, means the decimal point will move by 3 numbers, by 3 digits. Or if we have 2 zeros, the decimal point or the point will move by 2 digits. Here we have 0.3 divided by 10. We can write it as a fraction. It will be 0.3 over 10. It will become 0. Here we have 0, and after 0 we have 3, and we will just give another 0, or the point will move to the left side. Again, we have 0.12 or 0.12 divided by 100. 0.12 divided by 100. The point will move by 2 digits. Means from here it will go to this side, and again another point, another 0, it will move by 2 digits. So here we have 0.0012. We have 36.7 divided by 10. We can write it as a fraction. 36.7 divided by 10. The point will move to the left side, and it will become 3.67. Again, we have 36.7. This time it is divided by 100, or 10 to the power 2. So we will just write it as a fraction. 36.7 divided by 100. The point will move by 2 numbers. Means it will come here to the left side. It will become 0.367. Now we are starting a new topic, and we have finished the powers of 10, and now we are just start a decimal number. If you just multiply or divide any number by decimal number, what will happen, or what will be the result? So here we have 0.1, which is a decimal number, in the arithmetic operations. By the arithmetic operations, we will just consider multiplication and division. So first, let's analyze what is 0.1. 0.1 means 1 over 10, means 10th part of a number. So here we have 0.1 means 1 over 10, and we have similar cases, but a little bit different. In first case, A. If a positive integer is multiplied by 0.1, and result the number decreases. For negative numbers means the negative integer. The case is opposite. Let's analyze this case. Means if you have a positive integers, for example 2, 3, 4, 6, 5, something like that, and it's multiplied by 0.1. 0.1 means 1 over 10. In the result, the number decreases. Which number? The integer. That is, the integer number decreases, means getting smaller. Means if it is a bigger number, if you multiply by 0.1, it will become smaller number. For negative numbers, mean for negative integers, this means negative integers. For example, -3, -5, -8, minus 12, minus 18. Number like this, negative numbers. The case is opposite. Means in that case, if you multiply a negative integer by 0.1, in that case, the number will increase. Now we will solve in examples and then you will clearly understand that. Here we have examples. 12, which is a positive integer number, multiplied by 0.1. We are writing 12 multiplied by, instead of 0.1, we are writing 1 over 10. So if you just multiply this 12 by 1, it will become 12 over 10. And now if you divide it, it will become 1.2. So from 12, which was a bigger number, 12 is a bigger number, it changed or went to 1.2, which is 10 times smaller than 12. Means we had 12 here, and the result we got 1.2, which is a far more smaller number, or the number decreased. Again, we have a negative number here, minus 12, the same 12, but here we have a negative sign. So minus 12 times 0.1. Instead, we can write minus 12 times 1 over 10. So we'll just multiply minus 12 by 1. It will become minus 12 over 10. Here we have the same 1 over 2, but a negative sign. Minus divided by positive, negative sign by divided positive sign, it will become negative. 12 divided by 10, it will become 1.2. So minus 12 is a smaller number because it is far from 0. It is to the right side of the line. It is far from 0, so it's a smaller line, a smaller number. It increased to minus 1.2. In negative numbers, the number which is nearer to 0, it is the bigger number or the biggest, which is near to 0. And it is smaller if it goes on or goes far from the 0. So minus 12 is far from 0. Then what? Minus 2. Minus 1.2. So this is a far more bigger number than minus 12. Now you are coming to a B case. When a positive integer is divided by 0.1 and the number increases. For negative integers, the case is opposite. Again, it is vice versa of the multiplication. So if you divide by 0.1, the number will increase. Means the number will get bigger. For example, here we have 23 divided by 0.1. Here we can write as a fraction 23 divided by 0.1. It will become 23. Instead of 0.1, we can write 1 over 10. And if you just change it to multiplication, it will become 23. It will get a denominator of 23 over 1 times. It will become vice versa or get opposite. Or the denominator will become numerator and numerator will come to denominator. We have 23 over 1 times 10 over 1. So in this case, we are just multiplying numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator. 23 times 10, it will become 230. 1 times 1, it will become 1. If you divide, it will become same 230. So if you see here, we had 23 here, and we just divided it by 0.1. This is far more lesser number. Then what? And the result we got 230, which is 10 times more than 23. Means if you just multiply 23 by 10, it will become 230. So, and here they were telling to us that if you divide an integer by 0.1, or positive integer by 0.1, the result it will increase or it will get bigger. Now we are coming to negative numbers. Here we have the same 23, but this time it has a negative sign. So minus 23 divided by 0.1. Minus 23 divided by 0.1, we can change it to a fraction. It will become minus 23 divided by 1 over 10. So here now we will change or solve this problem or solve this fraction. So it will become, it will change to multiplication, from division to multiplication. It will become minus 23 over 1 times 10 over 1. If you just multiply it numerator to numerator, it will become minus 230. Here we have minus 230, which is far more smaller numbers. Means from a bigger number, which is minus 32, we decrease the number to minus 230. So this was our lesson for today. Hope you have learned that. If you have any questions, so you can ask. Stay safe and good luck.